Now, I know I'm not the only one, but do you guys ever feel exhausted? Even when nothing's actually wrong. On paper, everything's going well. Life is looking good. The kids are healthy, work's going well, and you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing as a dad. You're ticking all the boxes. Life's good. But for some strange reason, inside you just feel tired all the time. Like mentally and physically, you just feel tired. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, because when I speak to a lot of dads that do feel burned out, they don't really feel burned out because something is actually going wrong in their life. Everything seems to be going pretty well, but for some strange reason, they still feel burned out. And a lot of dads that I speak to, they feel burned out mainly because of the daily responsibilities that they're carrying on an every single day basis. When I speak to dads, there's always something that's on their mind, whether it's money, whether it's work, whether it's the family, being present, trying to be strong in certain circumstances, making sure that they're being reliable to their family, to their wife. And look, I'll be honest, I know these are just things that dads have to get on with, but no one really gets the opportunity to talk about how heavy it is to carry these responsibilities on a daily basis. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say like, woe is me. Like, look at all the things that dads have to carry, because it's life, innit? Like, we just crack on with it. Like, mums have to deal with it, kids deal with it, their own stresses. But I might be wrong. But from what I've noticed, even in my own marriage, for example, and the women in my life, they talk a lot more than dads do. So yes, everyone carries these stresses, but you might get the women who link up on a regular basis and talk about how they feel. If they get asked by a friend, how are you feeling? It's more than likely that they would actually express genuinely how they feel. If they have that trust and they have that kind of relationship with that woman, then it's more than likely they'll open up in that group, if that makes sense. Whereas men, it's more like, what are you saying? You good, yeah? Yeah, man, I'm all good, man, I'm all good. How's things? Yeah, if it's cool, you know, how's work? Yeah, work's blessed. Yeah, work's blessed, bro. I'm sure that dialogue sounds very familiar. Very rare if you ask one of your dad's friends or your male friends in general, like, yo, what are you saying? How are you doing, bro? It's very rare they say, I can't lie to you, you know, I'm not feeling that great. Oh, what's up? Yeah, work's not going too great. Or yeah, I had an argument with the missus last night. So yeah, nah, it's very high level. It's very surface level. So we don't really get a chance to speak about how we feel on a regular basis. And look, when I talk about burnout, when I say the word burnout I know might look different for everyone, but for me personally, it's like one of them things where, I don't know, let's say I've had a nice, good night's sleep, but for some strange reason, when I wake up, I still feel flat. I don't really have a spring in my step. I still feel quite low, quite mellow. But still, you crack on with the rest of the day. Like, you're cracking on, you're getting things done, you're doing the school runs, you're running a business, or you're working 9 to 5, whatever it is, you're making sure the household is running smoothly. Nothing's falling apart. Like, there's nothing to complain about. Like, so if someone asks you, what's good, how are you feeling? Genuinely speaking, yeah, the answer is like, everything's cool. Like, the family's well, work's going well, the kids are good. But for some reason, there's just that small thing, I don't know what it is, like, you just feel flat sometimes. You feel burnt out, essentially, mentally. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of dads that I speak to are dealing with like quiet exhaustion. It's not obvious, it's not in your face until it is, because it's not the type of burnout where everything explodes and like you might have like an argument with your wife, or like you might snap at your kids or snap at a friend, but it's just that constant mental load on a daily basis without having an opportunity to kind of offload that to someone else. Day in, day out, you're always thinking, you're planning ahead, you're thinking about worst case scenarios and how you're going to deal with it, even though they haven't even presented themselves in your lives yet, but you're still thinking like 2 years down the line, like, oh shit, what if this happens? And, you know, it's just constant mental overload. Look, if I'm being honest, like, feeling exhausted doesn't necessarily mean you're failing or anything. I don't even think necessarily it's a bad thing. Obviously it's a bad thing. If you do feel exhausted and burnt out on a daily basis, yes, it's a bad thing. But I think for a lot of dads, having that feeling of burnt out or mental fatigue in a weird roundabout way, it's kind of a good thing. I think it shows a lot about you as a person. You actually care about showing up as a dad. You care about doing well at work. You care about being a good husband. Like, you care about things. You know what I mean? You're not just self-centered and worrying about yourself. But the downfall of all of that is that, from what I've seen anyway, especially me included, you're looking after everyone else and making sure you show up for everyone else to the point where you end up last on your own priority list. That's when it starts to become a problem, because like, you're trying to pour from an empty cup, which is all good, don't get me wrong, but if it starts to be at an expense of yourself, then it's like, that's when you're doing like a disservice to yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. When I say self-care, I ain't talking about like spa retreats and skincare routines. Obviously those things do help. Self-care doesn't mean disappearing for a week or having some perfect routine. For me, it's just small things. It's small things. Whatever those things look like, doing more of the things that actually give you energy. Self-care looks different for everyone, but for me, it's like simple things like getting up early before the family wakes up to get a gym session in. Not only is that obviously physically doing myself, a service, but mentally is getting my brain and my mind in the right space to be able to cope with whatever is to come throughout the day. But that looks different for everyone. Some people might just want to sit in silence for a bit, read a book, journal. Some people might even like a lion. Whatever that looks like for you, it's different, do you know what I mean? But for me, that gym session in the morning sets me up for the rest of the day. That works for me. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Whatever that is for you, I think it's important that dads find that. Like, I call it the happy hour, having 1 hour to yourself in the day, whether that's in the morning, whether it's in the afternoon, whether it's in the evening, just to fill your cup back up. Because of course, like, we're givers. Parents in general, we're just givers. We're constantly looking out for other people, your spouse, your children. And then at work, you're doing the same thing. You're serving clients, you're making sure the business is running smoothly. You're making sure you're showing up at work in the way that you know you should. That gets exhausting. By the time it hits Friday, you're exhausted, man, you're done. So if you're not spending time filling up your own cup, you're gonna get to that point where you will burn out. When you start showing up for yourself, you start feeling like a better person, which then helps you show up as a better husband, show up as a better father, and just show up as a better person in general. I really want this channel to be a space for dads that are obviously holding everything together at home, but they still kind of need that safe space to look after themselves as well. Not in a guilty way and not in a perfect way as well. There's so many men that are going through similar things. Whenever I speak to a man, I say a man, not a dad specifically, just any men in general, it just feels like there's this sense of aloneness. Like, I'm not even trying to get too deep into it, but everyone at some point in their life just feels alone. That they're doing things on their own, they're grinding, they're trying to get this bread, they're trying to build this business, they're trying to start a family or find the right woman, but they're doing so alone. So if you're a dad that's holding everything together, this channel's for you. Like, yeah, do your thing, hold down the fort at home, make sure you're doing what you're doing, but at the same time, I want this to be a space where you can tap into and fill your own cup as well. So if anything I have said resonates with you, I just want to let you know you're not alone. Like, there's so many people going through similar things. Burnout is real. Fatherhood is hard. Life is hard in general, but we're getting through it. Do you know what I mean? You're not alone. If you've made it this far into the video, just want to say I appreciate you. Hope what I've said resonated. Yeah, do me a favor, share this with another dad. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this sort of topic. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover as well, let me know. I'm actually recording this on a Monday. So if you are watching this on a Monday, do you know what? Whatever day you're watching this, I hope you're having a good day and I hope you're having a blessed week. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Let's go.